All right. So I am so excited. I'm here with Bobby Quinn from Paypxl. And I want to just dive into this because this is a really cool resource. I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw one of your posts and I was like, what do you mean there's drones that can go look at properties for me? This is incredible. So I wanted to be able to interview Bobby and provide value here for our community so that anybody out there that's looking at, man, how could I do due diligence and leverage technology to do that so that I don't have to go to the property? This is like the perfect situation for the remote investor, which is, me and a lot of our community. So I thought Bobby would add a lot of value here. And Bobby, why don't you just go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, where you from, what do you do, how did Paypixl come to be?
Nice. Hi, guys. I'm Bobby Quinn. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Paypixl. And thank you, Jen, for having me tonight. I appreciate it. And I'm so glad you reached out when you did. Serendipity does have a way of bringing cool people together. So, and you're way cooler than I am already. I can tell you that. So I am Bobby. I'm from Tampa Bay. Jumping right into it, my wife is a real estate attorney. She owns a law firm in Clearwater, Florida, and she has a title company. So we're no stranger to real estate and RE investors. So back up to 2009, 2010, I'm in the Air Force. I think my 10th year in or 11th year in service. And I wanted to get my pilot's license. So I did. And then I, found out that I can be an aerial photographer and kind of pay for my hours. So I opened an aerial photography company and I was doing a lot of shoots for realtors, roofing companies, construction companies, and like having my own problems and delivering files there and all that. So I started building a company, running into problems, and yeah, that was that. So around that time, Erin is doing foreclosures and real estate investment deals, and she's like, it'd be really cool if we could scout out properties and locations, blah blah, for investors, but with fixed wing aircraft at the time, it's not really cost effective. So fast forward 2012, 2013, drones come into play, kind of push the old style of flying from aircraft into obsolescence. And I shifted and got into drone imagery. For a little bit, it became a geospatial analyst, super nerd doing, satellite intelligence for a company called DigitalGlobe, which provides, it's called Maxar today, but provides a lot of the imagery to Google Maps and Google Earth. So that's my background. Um, Jumping way ahead and avoiding all the rigmarole of the boring background, there's a need to be able to dive deeper than satellite imagery allows you to, with imagery that's available today, like current imagery, not years old imagery that you get on Google Maps. And drones provide a really good way to get eyes on a property if you're doing due diligence or investment due diligence, whether it's a property that exists or a parcel of land. You can send drones out. The challenge there, and then the reason why we made Paypixl, is because these drones are owned by people. That's basically a gig economy that's fragmented out there. It's really difficult today to find pilots to go fly for you, to relay all this stuff. And we'll talk about that in a minute. We wanted to create a marketplace, a digital marketplace using software to like make that process a lot faster. So whether you're a real estate investor looking for a deal, get a pilot, go fly for you, get the imagery, everything is standardized. And you don't have to worry about going through the process of finding people in every location that you want to look at.
Oh my
That's the
God.
background.
That is awesome. That's a great background. But what is Paypixl? Like, what even is it?
So it's a platform that connects drone pilots around the country with the people who purchase their services, quite simply. So basically, again, we streamline the process of being able to order what you want from those people. There's a lot of people like in real estate investment that don't speak the aerial photography language, and they don't speak the same language as pilots. So we kind of standardize that language and make it real easy for you to order the imagery that you want. And you can just click on like, I want a real estate investment photo set. Boom. And it goes out to the pilot in the area where you need them. The order takes like 30 seconds or less to do. And that simplifies the process from like what would normally take hours and sometimes even days to find people where you need them. When you're doing investments, a lot of the time speed is king. And you need to get that deal fast before somebody else comes in and scoops it out from under you. So speed is everything, and getting that right data is what you need to increase your IRR, which is what everybody's goal is.
Absolutely. That's pretty cool. You saw a need, filled a need, and this whole AI technology thing and how to use it in real estate is something that fascinates me. And I feel like this is it. This is one of those things where we can leverage that. Now, how does
Sure.
Paypixl address those specific challenges for investors when they're trying to assess it, like on a large nationwide scale? You guys can actually produce that for us on a nationwide, not just in Florida?
That's correct. Yeah, we have right now 3,600 drone providers, which is fairly small. It's about 1% of the total group of pilots that have their commercial licenses in the United States. So, but we have a nationwide presence. We have a really good coverage. We're covering right now with a 25-mile radius around pilots, about a 95% coverage area around the populated areas of the U.S. So if you're looking for imagery somewhere across the US, there's a 95% chance we'll have somebody there just a few miles down the road to go get it for you.
That is amazing. How do you take that and have these reports? Like, what does it look like? I mean, I don't know if you feel like giving a demonstration, but at some point, I think it'd be cool. You know what I mean? We see all the drones behind you. Like, show us what this thing is capable of. I'm sure everybody's like, yeah, enough talking. Show me.
All right. So what we're doing is, this is kind of the mechanics of Paypixl. I always, whenever I'm doing the screen sharing, I get really bad. So hang on. Okay. I'm like 95 years old when it comes to Zoom.
It's okay.
So with the drone industry as a whole, like it is super fragmented still today. Those problems that I had as an aerial photographer exist for drone pilots, in that drones can actually produce images, videos, 3D models, maps. Like you would see a lot of images stitched together for a map. It's really difficult for pilots to share those files with their customers today. So I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool if we could make a platform that solves that? Like we can give drone pilots across the world, not just in the US, but a way to share their files easily and invoice their customers. And by doing that, we have people flow into the system using our software to manage their companies and build them. But at the same time, now we have them on an API and we can send them requests and it's built right into their system. So they'll get a notification, hey, somebody wants to order imagery from you, and they get a summary of that order and they can go, yeah, I'll take that. And they can respond back, yeah, I'll do that for 180. Or you can send a bid out and they'll accept it. So really cool. This is the platform that the pilots see. So it's kind of like this is my portfolio as a pilot all across the country. Each of these points represents a project. And these are projects that I've filled for other customers, or I've had other pilots send to me to fill for a customer. An example of what a real estate inspection looks like remotely. We'll go to one that was in California and we'll pull up, I think we'll do the Northern California one. This was an example. It was a default property. There was no images of it online. So we had a pilot go out and capture the imagery of the property. So they get the overview, and there's a lot to be seen here. You can see like the property was fairly well managed. The pool is green. There's a lot of indications and assumptions that could be made from, poor upkeep of the property or the pool turning green. So a lot of these things, you enable the investor themselves to become an analyst in a way, to look for these indications of what the condition of the property is on the ground. So again, this is a perspective that you're not going to get from Google Street View or Google Maps, and my internet just went down. Awesome.
That's okay. If you
Brand
don't mind,
new office.
while we're waiting for that, I do have a question, because
Sure.
a lot of people are out there mastering drones, right? And they might be independently doing it. Like, why wouldn't I want to just skip the middleman of Paypixl and just go hire somebody, off the street to do it? Like, what are the advantages that Paypixl, the service you provide, that would help me either save time, resources, or something?
Yeah, so it's speed. Now, if you're an investor that's investing in a local market, right? You are looking at a property that you can drive to. You can drive there. You can get your own drone and go fly it if you want to. But if you're looking outside of that market, you have to find the pilot in the area. You have to find a pilot that's willing to fly for you. You might have to message multiple pilots and try to negotiate pricing with them. You have to relay to each one what you're looking for. So you might have a template saved in your email, like this is what I need, sending it out to multiple people. By the time you contact and find those pilots, again, you spend hours and possibly days going back and forth and waiting on a response.
Yeah,
With
I can see
us,
that. Time is money. Yeah.
Yeah, time is money. And I mean, unless you have fun and that's a passion for you to do that, which by all means go ahead. I've been doing that for a long time. I needed to create this platform for me because I was going to lose my mind doing that.
I
Um,
love it.
yeah, so if you have multiple markets, just send it out. It takes 30 seconds to order. So
Oh,
this is what the ordering interface looks like for a customer. So an investor that came in and wanted to order from Paypixl, they can set up an account, they set up their company, they can go into orders and create a new order. This is what that looks like. So I can go in, it says, type of order. I can do roof inspections. These are a little bit different. These are for insurance adjusters, homeowners looking for claims, and insurance carriers. But we can go right here to the real estate inspection, which is, exactly what we're talking about. If I select that, it automatically has a shot list populated that's going to go to the pilot and tell them exactly what they need. So this is saying, like, take an overhead shot, take an orbit around the property, multiple images, 12 to 15 images, and a video. And then if you're able to, from the ground, almost like you would get on a broker price opinion, take a picture from the public domain of the property. And it's really giving you all, the eyes around the property that you could imagine having. So that's there. Now, pricing is pretty cool. We say we measure the average price for the order going out. You don't know that if you're just going on your own and going out to a pilot. You don't know if they're going to charge you 1,000 or 200. Like, it's all over the place, right? We
mhm.
monitor these orders and we can say, hey, the average price for this type of product in this region is $180.
Okay.
You have the ability to make it lower or higher based on how slow or how fast you want the order fulfilled. So if you put on here like $100, in this case, the suggestion is 180 is an average price for this order with a 24 to 36 hour turnaround. So if I put $100, I might take a little bit longer. I don't care. It doesn't need to come in 2 or 3 days. It's over the weekend. That's fine. I can choose my start and end date. I can put additional notes here if I wanted to. And then, we'll talk about this in a second if you'd like, but you also have the capability to add on an AI damage report from one of our partners called RoofHawk AI. And we also have the ability to do a takeoff report and a roof diagram from our partners at Act Claims. That comes into play if you actually want a roof diagram, if you want to get a quote for a roof replacement for the property that you're looking at and really dig in to see how much that's going to be for your investment. We give you the tools to do that. And shortly, we're going to be able to just add in a roof estimate for you to make it very quick, and you get a big chunk of your really good data and your due diligence all in one stop.
That is
So once you
incredible.
once you hit submit, oh, sorry, the last thing I didn't do is I'm going to go to a house in my neighborhood. I'm going to click on this, and this is how you define the property. So it goes right into the map. You go, that's the property I want. You just go ahead and draw a box around the property. Let the pilot know this is exactly what you're looking for. I might want to get that pool area too. And boom, that's it. So now the pilot gets a summary of everything on the shot list. They get a polygon of this area. It briefs them the airspace. They're able to tell within 10 seconds of looking at that summary if they're able to do it, when they'll be able to do it, and how much they'll be able to do it for. Once they hit
That's
submit, it goes out to all the pilots, and boom, you don't have to worry about it anymore.
that is incredible. I have, like, my brain is just on fire. So I heard, if I'm not mistaken, I thought I heard you say at the beginning that, you might have insurance companies have you send this stuff out so you could see, weather damages, hurricane damages, or just going out and looking at those properties. You might have access to people where there's distressed properties that might be coming up for sale or for investment opportunities and stuff like that. Is that a good connection there? Am I firing there?
You absolutely are. Yeah. Right now we're building a repository. You can call it a spatiotemporal repository, and that's just a long word for a map of imagery that considers location and time. So if imagery in the neighborhood was taken a year ago and it's available, you'll be able to see it on the map. And we're a small startup. We're a pre-seed startup moving into the seed round. So we've only been really operational with the product over a few months. But as we
Wow.
continue to grow and we get volume and velocity, we'll have a lot more imagery added to the map. I think right now at last count, we have 60,000 images and videos across the United States and growing.
That's
But
incredible.
yeah. And
Okay.
so one more thing is, if you're doing multiple properties and you want to go back to them, there's something cool with our system. You obviously, if you're in a capital fund and you're raising 50 million or whatever, you go in and you have multiple investors on a single property. They're going to want to see this stuff too. So we make it really shareable. And that was one point we wanted to collaborate with these files. So all your orders are stored on a map, just like a push pin map. You can go in here and pull up an order, say, here it is. You can view the files, and anybody can view this without signing in. You send them the link, so you can choose who sees the link or not, and then they'll be able to jump in and see the imagery that you send them. So you can embed that on your website too, for a specific property if you're an investor, but however you want to use it.
Wow. Okay. You know what I love about that is that you can really see the roofs in there, and sometimes you can't get up there, and you gotta call on the inspector to really get you those photos, but you're getting them back. What's the turnaround time on the photos again?
So if you're near market price, this is a gig economy. So the market price, we don't set that. We rely on the feedback from the pilots that are fulfilling the orders. If a lot of them are taking lower numbers during a seasonal time, it might drop the market price. But if you're at the market price, and for example, roof inspections now or real estate inspections are generally $180 across the United States. So that's like the average across a large geographic area. You're going to be looking at about a 24 to 36 hour turnaround, with the exception if you're in snowy weather. If you're up in the Northeast and it's super cold, or in the northern plains, drones might not be operating for several weeks at a time. So there are some areas that are weather challenged, and that might not be available at that time. We don't have that mapped out just yet, how often that affects those areas. We'll continue to watch that and monitor that over time, so we can add that in and say, hey, this area in North Dakota is not really going to be available until probably mid-January. So outside of that, you're going to be looking at, like, again, a 24 to 36 hour turnaround.
Wow, that's pretty good. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Cool. Oh my gosh. There's so many opportunities. And you're in the seeding phase?
We are. Yeah. We're in the middle of our pre-seed raise right now. The company itself is getting a lot of traction. We just got accepted into an accelerator called Creative Destruction Labs, which is backed by American Family Insurance. So one of the larger carriers in property and casualty insurance. They're looking at us because we make it possible for them to do programmatic ordering across the United States for their claims and underwriting. So we will be able to feed into these carriers and allow them to reduce the price of sending adjusters out to the field at a fee schedule, and save them up to 50 to 60% on their total data collection for claims.
Awesome. That is awesome. I feel like, it's a really awesome opportunity to have a due diligence tool, especially for remote investors. Can you kind of walk through, what does that look like to work with you? Like, where do people find you? How does this work?
Sure. Well, we're going to give you a link, and any of your viewers can click on the link and go through that. At that point, you go ahead as a individual investor, you can set up your account. We have a few different tiers in pricing. But if you want to go in and just try it out, there's a 0 subscription level. So it's a free level. You don't pay a subscription fee. We do take a 25% take rate on your orders. So 25% of whatever you're paying the pilot. So if, for example, you pay a pilot $100 and they turn around and they fulfill the order for you, we'll charge you $125. It's a digital charge through Stripe, and that's it. It's really easy. It's all done immediately. The pilots are paid out automatically through our end, and communication is done internally through the system. So it's fantastic. And we have customer service. I would be that person for a little bit. So if you have any problems, I'm always available. You can call me, and I'll be happy to help you out and help you grow your business.
That is amazing. So ultimately, don't have to have a subscription, but if you're doing volume, getting the subscription kind of makes sense.
It does, yeah. There's a break-even point. We offer subscriptions for, we call them Paypixl Business Basic and Business Pro, and we also offer Enterprise. That's more for like the carriers that are going to have 16 to 30,000 orders a year, which most real estate investors don't do that high a volume. If you do, please call me, my cell phone. But yeah, if you go with the basic and the pro plan, you're going to see a reduced take rate. The basic, I think, goes down to 15%. The pro goes down to 10%. So there's still a little bit of a take rate for processing fees and transaction charges, but we try to make it as streamlined as possible and take as little as we can to make the process happen.
I love it. It's a great model because if you're just getting started and you want to go get into this, you don't have to have a subscription. You don't have to have all those things. It's just like, I'm going to do this one order, and, Paypixl gets a cut for doing all that back leg work, because speed is life. That is so cool. You got it down to where it's a quick turnaround too.
Even if you think about it, like I've had to do hundreds of orders where I've manually found people. The number one place that people go is Facebook, and you have to go to groups in specific areas and be accepted into the groups and find the pilots, ask people. Now you can ask somebody online, like, hey, who knows a pilot, and blah, blah, blah. And this happens every day still today. And you'll get like 10 responses tagging people. Then you have to go to those individual pages. You have to find them. You might go to their Instagram page. You might go to their YouTube page. Now you've spent 45 minutes just like that, just trying to do like a diligence behind that one property that you're looking at, right? Yeah. By the time you go back and forth and get to a handshake agreement with that person digitally, you spent hours, trust me. And if you think about that, you're still going to pay them 150, 180, 200 bucks. You'll do the exact same thing on our end. If we charge you $25 to $35 on average for these inspections as a transaction charge, we saved you hours. You pay $35. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, you're talking deals that are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Biggest thing is, if I talk to a lot of investors today that don't do the proper due diligence, and they fly blindly, and then they end up coming into my wife because there's bad deals that happen. They lose a lot of money. They try to go back and they try to fight through the contracts. You're talking attorney's fees, the time it takes to rectify the situation, or you just eat a bad investment. That one bad investment justifies doing this on 80% of the properties that you're looking at. So it makes a lot of sense.
It does. And, in order to scale, you got to have your time, right? So you're basically bending time for people. And I think if your time is worth the 25%, that do it. And to me, obviously it is. And I feel like it's enough for everybody else too. So we'll get you guys that link on the next slide. And when you get to that link, there'll either be a link or a QR code. When you see it, go ahead and, scan it or type it into your browser. Zuckerberg won't let us put links to drive people outside. So we got to play the game and keep them happy. But Bobby, I really appreciate you coming here, adding value. I have a feeling that this is going to blow up. It is absolutely going to blow up, because it is just AI and technology is the way to go. And I know that it's going to save people a lot of time so that they can focus on actually building cash flow. So once again, I just wanted to thank you for coming by, and we'll get that link for everybody on the next slide, and we'll see you soon.